Today we're going to talk about a talented Blender artist who started from nothing and built his way to become a talented game artist. Isaac is going to share with us his story and some important tips and advice on how to become a good artist and land your first job. I learned by watching random YouTube videos and enjoyed Blender Guru tutorials from time to time, creating artwork based on concept art to share with friends. At first, I didn't really care about my skills and just used Blender for fun in my spare time. After a while, I realized how many professional tutorials CG Cookie has and started watching those. They showed me how great Blender is and the amazing things that we could do using it. I realized there was a promising future for Blender and its artists. The skills and professional style of the tutorials authors impressed me as well. During this time, I shared some things I learned with my friends and turned to the Blender manual to figure out what I didn't know. The biggest problem was in the beginning. I wasn't able to understand the English tutorials and documents, and it was rare to find anything useful in my native language. Our Ghost of War is a World War II survival game taking place in Nazi-occupied Normandy. The project is done in the spare time of artists from all over the world. There are some good artists working on it in Unreal Engine 4. I did an art test to join the team, but I didn't make the cut. However, I was really passionate about this game and wanted to participate, so I asked for another chance. When they approved, I looked over my work and discovered that my textures were the problem. That's when I decided to learn Substance Painter. I studied it and learned PBR texturing basics to come up with a better result, and 2 weeks later, they gave me a chance to become a member of the team. I was improving and have done some good radios for the project. My main goal was to get experience and participate in a good game project. The two main members of the team are Elariza and Jack. They are very skilled and was amazed by the game characters they made. This encouraged me to become a member of the group and work with them on the project. Jack was responsible for reviewing my work and helping improve my process, as well as guiding me to follow the game process so I could do my best work. This video is brought to you by sketchfab, a platform for buying and selling 3D models online. Their store has a lot of high quality models to choose from using a great model inspector. Links in the description. Realism really motivates me to do my best work. I love to make complex and detailed renders that are aesthetically pleasing. Another thing that inspires me is seeing beautiful 3D and concept artworks. Photographs and movies with incredible graphics are both stunning and give me ideas for my own projects. Even taking a trip outside and seeing some beautiful clouds and some random things in the street might give you an idea for a new, challenging model or environment to work on. My advice is to learn the interface first, then the basics of the software will be a little bit easier to get down. After that, start practicing a lot and try to be curious, figuring things out and learning everything you can about the software. Networking is also king at this stage. Watching tutorials is an excellent way to improve at the beginning, but avoid watching tutorials that are extremely long or those which do not include any useful tips or tricks. If you watch videos that are not well explained, with tricks that you do not understand, or just plain too complicated for you at the moment, it might make you feel bored and disappointed in your ability to learn. During my learning journey, the best thing that helped me reach a good level of work is searching how to make a game asset or an environment rather than just reading everything about the whole work production line. One thing to do is to be sure to look at your past work to feel good about your improvement as an artist. Feed your passion with inspiration by watching and replicating works of better artists on ArtStation and by reading articles. Just replicate the artworks of better artists. To start working as a freelance 3D artist, you will want to make a portfolio with work samples that show your skills. If you already have a portfolio, you can look for jobs on Blender Artist Forums, Blender Network, Polygon Forum, Upwork, and so on. While you are working as a freelance 3D artist, building up your portfolio and experience is the most important thing. When you apply for a position as a 3D artist, make sure to ask a lot about work you will be doing. After you understand what will be expected, decide on a deadline and hourly rate. Show your interest in them and their project. Be aware that they might offer the same job to multiple artists to get the best results. Also, be sure your arrangements are well understood. Make sure that you are constantly improving, as every new 3D model or animation you create should be better than the last one. Be sure to look back on previous projects occasionally to see how much you have improved and feel good about your progress. The most important thing is to get pleasure from working on projects, and that also feeds into your resume, work, history, and portfolio. Just get experience and enjoy your job. Build a proper portfolio that has quality stuff which relates to your desired work area. For instance, an environment artist, character artist, weapon artist, etc. You never know if you will find someone who might be looking for your skill set on the go. Your portfolio should demonstrate that you have significant skill in this area and that you can do clean work with good techniques. If you can demonstrate your work process, it is gonna be good as well. In order to be considered for a position, you will need a resume that includes most of the information that the client is looking for. Your resume should include your contact information and summary about you as a person, a link to your portfolio or demo reel, your skills and tools that you are using for your work, and your work history. In your work history, you want to include a lot of details. Tell them the company or the individual you worked with, the projects you worked on, your job title for that project, and a summary for your responsibilities on that project. Also including the emails of some other artists you have worked with as a reference is a good idea, but make sure to choose people who can recommend you. The client can contact them for more information about you, and they can give you a glowing recommendation. For the cover letter, write about your skills and experience that fits the job position and try to sell yourself. They probably will not focus really on that part, because I've heard that sometimes they don't read it at all. The studio who's looking to hire you most likely won't hire you based on your skill as an artist. They look at your portfolio, but also your work history. If you are applying to a company or studio job that is located in a country that you should provide a visa for, make sure that you have a school degree that's related to your job that shows you have studied about the field you are going to work in. The company that will hire you will use it to provide you with the visa, and if you don't have one, a higher school degree or an equivalent degree could help too. Every country is unique. Be sure to read about its culture and the laws associated with your expected work. Blender is an amazing program with tons of features and tools that makes it possible to do just about everything with it. It has excellent flexibility to make your ideas and visualizations into something you can physically see, edit, and interact with through your computer. Artwork, videos, VFX, even making a video game is possible with Blender. I think Blender is the perfect software for an artist who want to use it as a basic program for all sorts of different art projects, but Blender isn't the industry standard. Learning other software such as Substance Painter, ZBrush, Marvelous Designer, Unreal Engine 4, Maya, and more can, will, and has improved the artwork of hundreds of 3D artists all over the world. Personally, I really recommend learning as much as you can about everything and every tool in the industry. Blender is excellent, but learning a second 3D program certainly couldn't hurt. Especially since the current industry standard today is Maya. The standard might change and you have to change with it. You should probably have at least a basic understanding of how to use Maya if you want to work on animation or VFX projects, so that you can work with other 3D artists who use it. But Blender is the best. I do, however, enjoy making textures and such in Substance Painter. Definitely get it and learn it. It is gonna be amazingly helpful. To work in the game industry, you should be familiar with baking, high poly to low poly. Working on PBR textures is very important, and I recommend using Substance Painter for that, in addition to importing your work to a game engine. Later you will discover more things to be aware of. As I started to use other 3D software, I found my knowledge of Blender helped a lot with things like sculpting, texturing, and rendering. I find myself familiar with these specialized tools when I start learning them. The only part that feels weird at first is the user interface and navigation with 3D software. It feels a little bit weird, but you figure it out soon enough and then grow comfortable with a slightly different workflow. Learning Maya basics could help you in the future to export your work smoothly from Blender to Maya and manage the project if you work on a VFX or animation project, but it will not be really useful if you are responsible for creating assets that you can export directly to the game engine, or they will ask you to provide the mesh and texture files. You might be even asked to use in-house add-ons. Substance Painter really kicks your materials up notch. But I don't recommend learning many other specialized programs like 3ds Max or Cinema 4D. Blender is enough. I'm very proud of my decision to use Blender, even when my friends using 3ds Max and Maya wanted me to use their software. Now they are impressed with the development and the future of Blender as a 3D software. I haven't landed a full-time job studio yet, but I have read a lot about the subject and I chat a lot with friends who've landed their first job and share their experience with me, so I believe this advice could help you. I hope you found this interview from CG Cookie useful. If you have something to add, you can leave it in the comment section below. Also, you can check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next one.